Hey. Welcome. Excuse me. Um, a rather gray day here in the neighborhood. Uh, Off and on, wind and rain, and the storm, being passed back and forth. Some pretty stout thunder and lightning going on a while ago, which kind of delayed us a little bit in getting things started. Had a couple glitches on our end. So here we are now getting things fired up and um the the weather is absolutely played a key role in the past couple of days in a lot of people's lives. Um and we'll be catching up on those as the boots on the ground reports continue to come out. I'm going to start tonight more on the financial side. I got this guy Matt that I like to listen to. Just recently did avoid this massive market trap video about 41 minutes ago now. And I wanted to play this for you. We'll break it down piece by piece. Because there's a couple things in there I want you to catch too that a lot of people wouldn't catch if you didn't know to look for it. All right, so we're going to jump right in. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Sheepdog. How are y'all doing tonight?
Hey, Mike. Doing good. It was beautiful here today in Texas again. The weather was really nice, so we sat outside for a while, caught some rays, planted a couple more moringa trees. So
Right on.
it was really nice though. But it's been really quiet, kind of eerie quiet,
It
but
is kind of
nice.
eerie. Yeah.
It's nice though, but it's strange. I was watching some guy filming in Florida, and he went to the beach, and it was like dead there. It was very strange. It's just really quiet. But I'm glad to be here.
Sweet. Well, we're glad to have you tonight. Sheepdog, how's it going, man?
Uh, Doing pretty good, Mike. Glad to be here. Beautiful day. I know in the last couple of days you've been having a destruction across the country, right? With these
Yep.
tornadoes. Yeah, it's pretty horrible. Seeing that
Yep.
right after the blood moon too.
Yeah, well, we found I'm double checking but I found some pictures that were released in 2020. And they were released just today and yesterday, late last night, as part of this current storm when actually they were pictures from 2020. Um but not all cases are going to be like that, right? Um so we'll go from there as that stuff unfolds, but kind of just want to jump in tonight and give you a little bit of a because Friday we were really could have had potentially the government shutdown, and we avoided that with a green light kind of Friday in the market. Uh, Although the pretty much the entire week was a wash, meaning not good for the market and the dollar. And like I said, I'm going to show you some breakdowns in this video that Matt is sharing here that a lot of people wouldn't catch unless they knew to look for it. All right. We did a Telegram live last night. We talked about the dollar collapse being very near. I'm going to show you how to see that in this video that he shares right now. All right, so let's get started on that.
Traders are about to fall for an absolutely brutal trap. I hope that you're watching this in time.
Okay, so notice he starts it out. Traders are about to fall for an absolute brutal trap. Okay.
time so you're not one of the victims. In this video, I'll be breaking down all the major macroeconomic events of the upcoming week, of course, the stats, facts, and figures of the upcoming seasonality, but most importantly, I want to talk about what's going on in the world of options and option structure because there's very clearly a trap being laid. I want to talk about how to identify it, how to avoid it, and most important, how to make some money off of it. Of course, if you like these types of market breakdowns, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz, because it does help get this video in front of other people who might be able to benefit off of it. But with that being said, let's rock. We are currently gearing up to go into the most pivotal trading week of this entire sell-off. So to better understand where we're most likely going, the high odds type of pathways, you have to better understand where we're coming from. To close out the most recent trading week, here is the official headline. Dow pops more than 650 points in relief bounce Friday, but still posts worst week since 2023. This bounce, definitely impressive. Here's a heat map of the S&P 500 as whole green as could possibly be. And if you look at the overall market, putting up some impressive numbers. The SPY gaining over 2%, the NASDAQ almost 2.5%. You have the VIX crumbling almost 12%. And a lot of our favorite tech plays, a lot of the most popular retail plays, very, very much in the green. I mean, look at this. Palantir up 8.3%, Tesla up 3.9%. You have NVIDIA up 5%. You have MSTR up a crazy 13%. There was a lot of money to be made to the bullish direction on Friday. And the real reason for that was the uncertainty related to the government shutdown. Well, that uncertainty was removed from the system. Senate passes GOP funding bill to avert a government shutdown. First passed the House, went to the Senate, then went to the president. So that uncertainty taking out of the system. But with that being said, even though Friday was a nice green day, and hey, I hope you got your attendees, the overall week, as the official headline really alluded to, kind of brutal. Overall, the S&P 500 dropped 2.28%, the NASDAQ 2.47%, the small cap sector down 1.5%, and even Bitcoin was down 3%. So yes, it was a green Friday, but the overall week still pretty brutal. And the reason that even though we had the green Friday, but the pressure is still clearly down and the bears are still in control, it all relates to the tariffs, the trade war, the drug war, whatever you want to call it, but it's more of prices are going up. See you in 4 years. Canada flexes economic muscle as tariff negotiations continue. This has been clearly the major story, the major trend that's causing the market to go down is all the uncertainty related to what in the world is going on with this trade war. Most recently, Canada is clapping back. Canadians are swapping their friendly auras for a fierce sense of nationalism amid the U.S. President Donald Trump's attacks on the country's trade and sovereignty. Trump's mostly delayed plans for the 25% tariffs and his calls for the country to become an American state has spurned citizens of the U.S. northern neighbor and key trade partner. As a result, Canadians have rejected American imports and issued other economic punishments in an unusual show of patriotism. This is the point that I truly want to get your opinions on. It really feels for most Canadians like we've been backstabbed, that the person that we trusted the most is now sort of turning on us and attacking us for no apparent reason. That has really unified the people. This is my direct question to all of you, and I don't mean this rhetorically. I truly want to get your thoughts in a comment. This concept of, getting stabbed in the back. If you looked at the tariff situation before Trump started doing what he's currently doing, it was clearly unfair to Americans. Canada was tariffing the U.S. more on a proportionate rate. Just look it up. This isn't debated information. This isn't hidden information. It's information that's not difficult to find. So this concept of, it just came out of nowhere. It's unfair. What are you talking about? For years and years and years, the U.S. was getting the short end of the stick when it came to trade. And the fact that, and I get it, this isn't happening really with the best bedside manner, but just if we're looking at purely just the numbers, I'm a bit confused. And maybe I'm missing something. And that's why I'm saying, hey, let me know your thoughts in a comment. Anyway, this is the major thing that's been causing the market to sell off for weeks. Trump tariff threats are pushing Canada's largest oil producer to break its dependence on the U.S. The Alberta Premier said the province wants to support Donald Trump's energy agenda and helps the U.S. win the AI race with China. So trying to play nice, but also saying that she's going to start looking for other customers. But Smith warned Alberta is looking for customers beyond the U.S. in Asia and Europe as Trump's tariff threats cause uncertainty. Alberta is Canada's largest oil producer and supplies the overwhelming majority of the country's oil exports to the U.S. So in the short term, you're seeing a lot of uncertainty. And depending on, I suppose, what side of the border you're on, probably really solidifies your opinion, if you will, of who you think is right, of who you think is wrong. So I just wanted to share that, but kind of circling back to the whole delayed thing every single day. This is an on again, off again thing of we're coming in on steel and aluminum at 25%. At one point in that day, it was 50%, back down to 25%. I know I've said the word uncertainty already 800 times in this video alone, but that's exactly what's going on. And that's exactly what the market doesn't hate, because it's prompting a bit more chaos. I know that you know this story and why the market isn't liking it, but it is very, very important to understand the short-term stock movement, especially when I'm about to overlay what's happening in the world of options and also the other macroeconomic events. So throughout the month of March, lots of uncertainty, but the next major date you really need to know is April 2nd. That is when the reciprocal tariffs are going to be going into effect. So please pay attention to that. And that's going to be important as we understand better what's going on this week. Fed Chair Powell, aka Daddy Powell, is about to take the stage once again. It is an FOMC week. The Federal Open Market Committee meeting is going down this week on Wednesday. We're going to find out what's
all right. Over here, right here, guys. You see, he doesn't talk about this right here. The S&P 500 down 11.72%. And then the dollar index adjacent to it showing in the red also. All right. There's a reason why he doesn't talk about this, right? This is the part that they want to keep avoiding, because this will take it all down right here.
What's going on with the Fed fund rate?
With the dollar index. Okay. He does talk about some important things in the meeting, and the outcome from the initiatives that are being pushed from them, but it does avoid the dollar index conversation, and as you can see, it's in the red, and it's going to continue to drop.
I want to talk about that, but just
so I wanted to catch that for you, and then let him finish his spiel. All right.
So, retail sales Monday, tomorrow morning before the market opens. We get CPI out of the Eurozone. The big thing is the FOMC. That's going down Wednesday. And then Thursday, the normal initial jobless claim. So in terms of these major macroeconomic events, yes, pay attention to retail sales. But the most important one of the week, as of now, that's at least scheduled, is the Fed interest rate decision. We are currently sitting at 4.25%. That is the Fed fund rate. Coming into Wednesday, March 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern, when we get the results, there's currently a 98% chance that it's going to stay at 4.25%. As in, the market is very, very sure nothing is going to be happening with the Fed fund rate. So when people are making their predictions that nothing's going to happen, folks, we already know this. We can see where the money's betting on the market. 98% chance nothing's going to happen. But what I find interesting here is if you fast forward to the May meeting, still a pretty good chance we're not getting a Fed fund rate. But as of this moment, as of the moment that I'm filming this video, the mid-June meeting, June 18th, there's actually better odds than not that we're finally going to be getting a rate cut at that point. So I just wanted to share all of that information of how the Fed's really shaping up. But then really circling back to what pay attention to this Wednesday, we know that we're not going to get a change to the rate, and that comes out at 2. So really what's going to be moving the market, and really what's going to be moving the market, is Jerome Powell's press conference at 2:30, where all the reporters in the land are going to be saying, are you talking to Trump? Are you feeling dovish? Are you feeling hawkish? Are you guys working together? Are you working against each other? And they're going to ask him a gazillion and a half questions of how he believes these potential tariffs are going to be impacting the overall economy and thus what they have to do for monetary policy. So it is that conversation at 2:30 that is very much the flip of a coin. Will it be bullish? Will it be bearish? Your guess is as good as mine. All I could tell you is Godspeed. You also need to know that on Wednesday, the exact same day, that is the day that volatility contracts will be expiring. So we have a VIX OPEX. And then on Friday itself, that is not only a monthly OPEX, this upcoming Friday, the 21st, it is a quarterly OPEX, aka quadruple witching. So there's going to be a lot of pent up volatility in the system. So that's going to get crazy, but you should also be overlaying this on the concept of seasonality. Very quickly, you should know that the end of March typically does favor the bulls over the past 3 decades, over the past 5 years, you could see the month of March itself is slightly green. If you go to the weekly, it's really the final week that becomes very bullish. It's kind of the first week of April. We're at this point. And once again, this is now just 5 years worth of data. So just wanted to share that. If you're looking for the individual days, I do put this in the newsletter. Monday, a bit more neutral. Tuesday, very bullish. Wednesday, a bit more neutral. Thursday, slightly bullish. And then Friday, a bit more neutral. So that's the breakdown per day. Remember, seasonality isn't the end all be all, but it does give you a good idea of the tailwinds and the headwinds of what's going on. So I just wanted to share that. But most importantly, I want to talk about the trap. So now that you have a better backdrop of how we got to where we currently are, I think we could better understand and have a more fruitful conversation of why there's a giant trap being laid. After such a relentless market correction, the relief rally faces a high burden of proof, which is a fancy schmancy way of saying all the talking heads on lamestream media don't know what's going on. So I think it's whenever that happens, it's better to dive into the actual quantifiable numbers of what is truly happening. Here's a look at the daily chart of the S&P 500 index, the actual SPX. And as of 2 closes ago, we were officially in correction territory, down more than 10%. But then we had a nice relief bounce on Friday related to some of the tensions with the ceasefire of like Ukraine and Russia, those tensions coming down. Obviously, U.S. political tensions of the government shutdown coming down. And then also we didn't get any negative updates, we didn't get any additional negative updates related to tariffs, all allowing us for a little bit of a bounce. And now the golden question is this the bottom? Are we about to bounce? Should this dip be bought, or is this a fake out? I see this all over the internet. Everyone is calling this the bottom, and that is the trap. I deeply, deeply believe that the highest probability pathway out of this is that we have one more flush before we see the actual bottom here. So I think what's going to happen is people are going to say, oh, Friday is actually looking pretty good. All right, interesting. And the trap's being laid for a bullish start to the week. If you look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just the first 4 days, you're going to look at the option chain and you're going to realize that it's call dominated, and you're going to realize that it's positive gamma. So stability is coming to the system. And actually you could see that in the fact that the vol of the S&P 500 is starting to come down. Remember, I'm talking about the first 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It is now call dominated. For the longest time, every single day was put dominated. So a little bit more bullish aggression coming in. We see vols dropping. That is another pretty decent sign that the bulls are getting the upper hand. And I've made many videos on this. These are all the important ingredients for a Vanna rally. If you don't know what that is, it's just we're in this unique situation where we get these pretty crazy bear market rallies, and things are setting up for that. I think that we're going to see early week optimism, early week bullishness. And when people start us to see taking out recent highs, they're going to say, okay, that's the dip, time to buy. And what they don't realize is that ends on Friday. That ends on the monthly OPEX, quadruple witching. If you take out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and just focus on Friday, you're going to realize that not only is it put dominated, not only is it negative gamma, but the size of the puts and the size of the negative gamma is a multitude larger than all whatever's going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So what we really have going on here is that trap being laid via the options market, that we're going to get a fake amount of optimism early in the week. And then, man, oh man, something wicked this way comes on Friday. So I just want everyone to be careful. I'm not telling you to not be bullish. I'm just saying if you're going to be bullish, make sure it's very, very short term, because Friday, something is loaded in the chamber that could be brutal. And I also want to remind you, not this Friday, but next Friday, the end of the month, March 31st, that's when the JP Morgan position, their put collar, which is around 5565, I want to call out, is the strike of the put side of their collar. That's still in the system up until next Friday. So as I've made many videos on this, I do believe that there's a trap being laid here. I tweeted it out. I think we're going to get a dead cat bounce. I think a lot of people are going to get suckered into this play right now. And obviously, depending on your time frame, you could play all of these directions. I just want to let you know that out of the world of all probabilities, and of course, I'm not saying this with certainty, every single pathway has a certain probability assigned to it. I believe as of right now that the highest probability pathway is a push to the upside early this week, That gets faded to the end of this week, potentially the end of March. And then really that's the bottom that we're going to want to be playing off of, at least what I'm looking to be playing off of. Somewhere of truly late March, early April, I believe that's where the real bottom is going to be put in. And I also want to call out that I think all of April is going to be crazy, crazy bullish. And just to throw a little bit of food for thought here of why things might not be the perfect time to go long right now, I do want to remind you that when the market closed on Friday, gold was at another new all-time high. So clearly there is a flight to safety. I get that.
All right. So he just told you gold has reached another all-time new high. That's the safety linchpin that's hiding in amongst it all right now. Okay. So I wanted y'all to get that down. It may not have meant a lot to you, but there's some key things in there you'll need to know, like the gold increase, the dollar being in the red and not talked about, and the trap being set, right? A lot of people on our channel aren't necessarily stockbrokers or market watchers or players, but if you are, there's your full report. Be very careful, and do know that we're very close to something happening. All right. Yep, gold is 3,003. Yep. All right. Can y'all hear me all right?
Yes. They're saying silver's supposed to go up, right?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I had a piece on it too, but it disappeared on me.
They think it might go higher than gold.
Yes.
It's required more for the technology, right? So.
Yeah. Information technology is the reason why. Yes.
Yes.
I can't find the piece. I had it open because I was going to show that too. All right, so I'll keep looking for that. But the silver and the gold, folks, those are your fail safes. Okay. If an exchange of any kind happens, remember we have a small window to do what? Transfer it to gold, silver, or land, right? And we're learning a lot about how the land is purchased. It's not really sold, right? You get mineral rights and stuff like that. You get access rights to it, but you don't actually own it.
No, just the structure.
Yep, just the structures that are on it, right? All right. Here is some verified footage from one of the storms.
How are you? Oh, it's chilly on my arm too.
Yeah,
there you go, right?
It gets a little cold.
Yes. So this is my.
Where was that at? Do you know?
That was let me go back to it. That was in Tylerstown, Missouri.
Missouri. We were
Yeah.
watching the storm chasers like in Mississippi and some other places, but they were just driving down the street. I mean, you could see the storm, but they didn't really catch any footage like they
Right.
normally do. So that was strange.
Right on. So, all right. A little funny in there. Trying to get y'all kicked off YouTube. Somehow I completely lost the other video I wanted to share. Anyway, we got sidetracked a little bit. I'll find it. So now I'm looking at the silver video. That 40-second clip I showed you a while ago that was verified, that's been verified in Missouri, that was shared by Rod as well. Let's see here. There's one with lightning that I wanted to share with you that was really badass. Didn't cause a lot of damage, thank goodness, but the lightning was crazy. And that's the one I thought I had pulled up next, but I guess I didn't. All right. So we'll come back to that. Let's see here. The Bitcoin piece, folks. The Bitcoin was one of the big divers last week. A lot of loss in Bitcoin. In the disaster week that was last week in the trading. And it's suspected to go down again this week, along with silver going up even more too, as well, right? Let me see. We got quite a few lives going on right now. Let's see. There's a virtual town hall. Ohio State Rep Jennifer Gross is doing a town hall that's live right now. That have to be very popular in Ohio political news. Let's see what else we got here. Several gaming lives, obviously. We played this a trap for you. The Bitcoin Cash podcast went live 6 hours ago. It's still no, the recording's up now. Okay. So I'll be checking out some of these Bitcoin things because obviously Bitcoin is crashing again. There's a lot of talk about XRP for this week as well. I want y'all to have that information, even though we know what's going to happen to it all. None of that digital stuff is going to make it outside of what we already got going, right? We already got digital transactions going. We just need to get them decentralized. Okay. And that's the whole thing. We're going to reject because all of what they're offering is all centralized. Okay. And we want it decentralized where it's in control of we the people as individuals in the private, right? And that's why I want to get through these reports as they come out so that you can have that information, so when you're rejecting and when not to reject. Okay. All this centralized settings is part of the bringing it all forward for the collapse. All right. And you need to know the difference. All right. That's it for right now till I find them other 2 videos. Sheepdog, go ahead, start it up, bud.
You want me to start with the engines?
So what?
Start it up.
Start the engines?
Just start the engines, buddy. Start the engines.
Robert, start your engines.
Right.
All right. I guess.
All right.
Didn't feel like driving, but I guess I'm going to have to drive. Here we go. Let's go into... Just give me 1 second. Let me crank this up with the weather since we're talking about that. Oh, let me add screen. Well, I hope everybody had a good weekend. I know there's some people that are still recovering. We got a lot of new homeless people this last 24 to 48 hours across the country. So I hope we can.
Many states, wasn't it?
Yeah. Texas, Mississippi, Missouri, Arkansas. You name it. Yeah. So, so I hope we can come together and help our neighbors out, and instead of waiting on somebody in the government to come along and help, which always naturally happens. My faith is in humanity, because it doesn't matter what what storm that we make it through. It's always the people that show up first to help their neighbor. Y'all don't see that? Ain't that beautiful?
Yes, it is.
Ain't that awesome?
And
people. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, report. If y'all have some in the area where it needs help, we can put something together like we did for Asheville. But send us the information or footage if you have any as well.
So we're going to roll into the HARP death grid system. It has been ramping up and blasting pulses across the U.S. This is from 2 days ago, March 14th, Pi Day 2025. The Gwyn towers located across the grid shoot massive bursts of energy into the atmosphere in conjunction with HARP. Newsflash, HARP facilities are located across the earth, not just in Alaska. Have you been feeling off lately? Now you know why, right?
Yes, definitely.
Here's a little...
The animals are acting weird too, right? Very sensitive.
Yeah. People too. But
yeah, people too.
So we lost 35 Americans in the last couple of days to these storms. And not just in the last couple of days, but over the last few years, this system they call HARP has been wreaking havoc. like Mike said, he's heard some thunder that, pretty bombastic, right? Pretty loud. And when we have a lot of the spraying of the metals and shit in the atmosphere as well over the last few days, I know I've seen it myself over my house.
Yep.
We've also had the blood moon, which causes a bunch of solar energies. So it's funny how, well, it's not funny, but it's crazy how, all this took place right after the blood moon, right? This all ramped up. But we can see, did Florida also get hit as well? I know Florida's having a bad spring break. The beaches are empty.
Yeah.
Nobody's going there.
It was, what was that beach that he said it hit?
Fort Myers. Well, I don't know. Fort Myers?
I think it was a couple
Fort
spots.
Myers. Fort Myers is
that's
one
it.
of them. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where it hit, but I watch a guy in Florida. He goes and he's a Uber driver, but he also does YouTubes, and he's been driving around Florida, all the beaches, and he said it's dead. Like spring break should be. This is his money years, the time that he makes the most money, and that goes for the economy as well. But I'm not seeing that Florida having such a great spring break this year. We know with the political environment, with deporting everybody, and Florida's full of Cubans and other people that reside there that help the economy. They're MIA, they're in hiding or whatever. But and then the people that do show up to the beaches, they're getting harassed by, I don't know if it's MAGA or Republicans or somebody that voted for Trump, and the argument is they can't wait for them to get deported and shit like that, and so it's really taking a toll on Florida's economy, all this rhetoric and division. Hey. But here we go. Feeling sick. Here's why the 9/11 Meadow Mountain Massacre. Okay, I don't know. Let me turn this up.
All right, you see that big blast? Looks like a giant laser, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's go back. I'll show you the lasers. Right here, you see lasers? See them? Right here in Texas,
Yep.
You see them right here?
Yep.
See it? Shooting it
I see it.
towards the
Yep.
direction.
That's why you see those sparks,
Like, see a laser shooting? Dang.
Those flashes you see during the storm. It doesn't look like lightning. It's like a very bright flash, right?
See the lasers? Again, right here, you see it shooting this way? See it? Boom.
Yep.
It picks it up. The radar picks it up. I don't know if anybody watches the Mike Morales, but he had passed away, but he covered all this stuff as well with the lasers and the bunker fuels and
From the and 9/11.
All right, here we go.
They started at 9/11 at night until 9/11 in the morning. You see the pulse going from the east to the west coast. All right, boom. You see that? Those are NEXRAD stations.
Yeah, you can see them cranking up. If you watch the radars, you can see when it transitions from daytime to nighttime, how everything cranks up and the radars pick it up.
Each of those towers are 750 kilowatts, pumping out between 2.7 to 2.9 gigahertz in the microwave range. This is roughly the same frequency as your microwave oven, and it has the same cause and effect relationship. This was 12 hours long that they held this pulse while we slept. And look at all the other anomalies that are happening here on the screen. Look at what's going on in Texas. All right, you see that big blast. Looks like a giant laser, doesn't it? Boom, see that? Then it gets obscured by the towers. Now they can add the Doppler towers with this. NextRad has like 159, Doppler has 160. Now you can consider the HARP stations. There's 33 of those, but they don't show up on this satellite. This covers the microwave range. This is a NextRad feed.
All right. A little short clip here. All right.
Right, like you said, it's not here. They can do that from overseas, right?
U.S.
Yeah. They have those HARP in Alaska and other countries as well, Africa, off the coast of Africa. If you go back, look at Mike Morales, he's since passed, but if you look at all of his old work over the last few years, he points out all the HARP and the bunker fuels and the shit like that these people put up into the atmosphere, along with the chemtrails, right, with the metals that they put into the thing. But here, anybody know who this is?
Yeah, that's that comedian, right? I forget his name.
Yeah, except for this time he doesn't come. He doesn't have jokes.
Right.
All right, and he's calling out Governor DeSantis. He says, "No longer a conspiracy theory." Here's a comedian. This is Jim Brewer confirming it, which I got pictures. Everybody's got pictures. There's a good portion of the population that doesn't even know what a hell chemtrail is, folks. I mean, that's how asleep people are. It's just crazy to witness. We all want answers, and in fact, we demand them. Politicians work for the people, so start doing your fucking job, right?
Yep.
Sounds right to me.
The Republican or Democrat, we don't give a shit. But here we go. We got Jim Brewer. He's calling it out right here. Check it out. This is a comedian, but he's also an activist, right? This is Dave Chappelle's friend. He's got a lot to say about the Chappelle scenario, situation. There we go.
Hey, Governor DeSantis. Today, when I got up in St. Petersburg, it was clear blue sky, and I started watching all the planes spraying. Now, I know the FAA knows who's flying. I'm pretty sure the governor can figure out who's flying.
Y'all think the FAA knows who's flying, right? And who's spraying this whole time, right? The governor, right? That they go outside too, right? They look up, and you think do you wonder if they look up and go, "What the fuck is that?" Or if they got their head up their ass. And if they got their head up their ass, they shouldn't be governor, right?
They can figure out who's flying and spraying and creating these fake clouds in the sky. Look. I even got footage of that plane spraying. So, Governor of Florida and Florida officials, what are we doing about this? And why don't you start explaining exactly what it is? Clear blue sky, look at all the lines from the planes. I watched them all, and some of them stop spraying after a while, and they restart. Can we have an explanation and a stopping of this, please?
So until the people start speaking up and stop kissing the ring and licking the boots, we'll start getting some shit accomplished. Like the egg situation. The only reason the egg situation made it to the DOJ because everybody's screaming about eggs. Eggs. Right? So if we can make something happen with the DOJ with eggs, then we can make something happen when we all speak out against this weather modification through HARP, right? So if you're feeling sick or anything like that or off or whatever, they're ramping it up. We're going to lighten up a little bit. This is from, I don't know if anybody's seen this, but I'm going to ahead and play it. Oh, Nadine's seen it. Nadine Vaughn, she's right there.
Yep.
She commenting, "What's up, Nadine?" Here we go.
Tesla. Going on now with the White House Tesla Auto Mall. It's the biggest sale of the year.
Very safe, it's very strong, heavy. It's all steel, stainless steel.
Come on down to Pennsylvania Avenue, just off Route 29, to get our best deal.
Guys, they're fixing to have the Republicans go buy MAGA red Teslas, just like they did the Democrats. Remember
Teslers.
Teslers. You remember when the Democrats were all driving Teslas and the Republicans were making fun of them?
Yeah.
Now the Republicans are being psyoped into buying a red MAGA Tesla. Guys,
Tesla.
put a fucking alternator on this thing to charge the battery as it drives, like the one video we played. Put alternators at the hubs that when you're driving, it charges the battery, so you never have to stop ever and charge. It charges itself. Why did they pull the alternator off that charges the battery on a Tesla? Oh, because they want to keep you dependent on the freaking oil company, right? They want you to keep you only going, 300 or 400 miles. That's it. They don't want you making it all the way to damn out of here, right? They don't want you making it to Antarctica or anything past that. They don't want you to be able to drive around in a vehicle that you don't have to refuel.
Well, Teslas don't even last that long, do they? Because they're electric, right?
Yeah, a couple 100 miles, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know, but I just know that they have to charge for 3 or 4 hours at a gas station. I mean, and they're all sitting there on their phones scrolling Facebook and X.
And they don't charge in the real cold, right?
So, yep. So this is your Truman Show. And you'll start to see it as we move forward, right? The Truman Show.
It's all steel, stainless steel.
Come on down to Pennsylvania Avenue, just off Route 29, to get our best deal ever on a brand new Tesla.
I want to make a good deal here. They have one, which is $35,000, which is pretty low.
Get a Model 1 with a different panel and everything's computer.
This is a different panel. Everything's computer.
So don't waste your time going to those other Tesla dealerships with riots and flaming cyber trucks. You gotta come down to White House Tesla Auto Mall.
I love Tesla.
You gotta come down to White House Tesla Auto Mall.
This is really...
Why did he say Tesla? Mrs. Sheepdog, do you know why he said Tesla? Did you look that up? Tesla?
No, but I will.
I thought you did, and you said it was. That's
Well, I know I didn't. I said Tesla, her, right? Maybe that's what it. But
Tesla Auto Mall.
This is really amazing.
Look, they got the chicks on.
oh my god!
They got the chicks on either side, and they're trying to sell
Wow.
cars. They're literally trying to sell this dude's cars at the White House. He paid $250 million to have this position, right? He donated $250 million to the Trump administration to be able to have this. But
He said it was all computerized, right?
yeah,
Well, there's a Larry Tesler, who was a computer scientist who worked in the field of human-computer interaction. Maybe that's what he's talking about, huh?
White
From
House.
New York.
Mm.
I'll send that to you.
Oh, speaking of, hey, y'all know the guy that stands next to Trump when he's signing executive orders? Let me go to that real quick. This is going to be y'all are waiting on the Epstein list. I mean, the Epstein list, and the Epstein list is in front of you physically.
There, I sent you that guy.
Sheepdog, what are you talking about? The Epstein list is in front of us physically. Well, what I'm saying is, you see this guy right here? He bought Epstein's house.
Yeah, he did. Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
You're waiting on the Epstein list, and this fucker right here is on it. Or I know there's pictures with him, but this guy right here, let's go to this. Let's look at his Wikipedia. You can look this up yourself. Check this out. Because I'm like, man, what's up with this guy? Why is he being front and center? I've never seen him before. Right? And then we go down and we look at his properties. And lo and behold, Jeffrey Epstein's right there. Huh? You're waiting on the list. It's in your face. You don't need to wait on the list. Trump's put them all right there. Or somebody is. So in 1998, Lutnick purchased a 9 East 71st Street, the Herbert North Stratus House, a Manhattan property behind the Henry Clay Freak House from the Comet Trust. Remember Comet Pizza? Well, you got a Comet Trust. The townhouse was previously owned by Jeffrey Epstein, a financier and child sex offender. He had extensively renovated its exterior renovations by May of 2001, but Lutnick lived in Bridgehampton, New York, on a 40-acre property he purchased in 2003 for $15 million. In December of 2024, he purchased Brett Baer's home in Washington, D.C. Brett Baer, they're saying looks like, who was that? The guy that played Superman?
I forgot his name.
So the guy that plays Superman looks like Brett Baer for $25 million, setting the record for the most expensive house in the city. The property is inspired by a Chateau Graluce. Chateau de Graluce. According to the New York Times, the home, among the other properties, including Scott Besson's Federal House of North Street, developed Washington, D.C.'s real estate market. So what are the odds? What are the odds? What are the odds that the guy that stands with Trump while he's signing executive EOs that don't mean shit, he purchased Epstein's house?
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's your bombshell. Ain't nobody else reporting that. Folks, look at the people standing next to him. Look them up. All Republicans, you're the worst. You're like closet homosexuals. Nothing against homosexuals, but at least we know the ones that come out, Democrats are out of the closet. The Republicans are still hiding in it.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. No disrespect to anybody, but I'm just saying it is because it seems like the Republican Party is just the savior of humanity, and that's not the case. They're both in bed, right? So.
Right.
All right, Epstein. You want your Epstein list? Here it is. Right here. In your face. And I believe he's bringing them all up front, so when the shit does come out, you know who they are. You say, oh, that's that guy that was standing next to Trump and when he was signing all those executive orders. Right? That's what I believe. I mean, so we got the weather. We got
that Larry Tesler was a pioneer in computer science, known for inventing the cut, copy, and paste functionality. He died on February 16, 2020, at the age of 74 due to complications from a bicycle accident.
Oh, like a helicopter accident or an airplane accident or a shooting accident.
Right.
You know, like Dick Cheney didn't mean to shoot his buddy at the dam while they were duck hunting accident.
Right. He was also, his field was human and computer interactions. He was worked for Xerox, Park, Apple, and Amazon and Yahoo.
Ms. Sheepdog, you brought up the fact that Netanyahu's name isn't the last name that.
No, and I forgot his real name. It's okay, Netanyahu was Jewishnized name. Yeah.
Polish. It's a ski. Yes. All right, well, we're going to go over that here in a second. But it's not just Netanyahu, right? It has changed their names to sound Middle Eastern, right? To sound like they're from Israel or from Palestine.
Right.
Israel, because it's really Palestine. But here we go.
I show you what I'm about to show you, your mind will be blown. You're going to be blindsided. Every single Israeli prime minister has a fake name. Did you know that? I was just talking about Ben Gurion. Do you know what his original name is? It's Gruen, Gruen. He changed it to make it sound more Jewish and sound more Middle Eastern. Do you know what Netanyahu's real name is? It's not Netanyahu, it's Milkovsky. I swear to God, go and look it up. You'll find Milkovsky. That's his real name. These are, remember what Israelis are. Israelis are European Jews. They don't come from Palestine, but they want you to make you believe. They want to make believe and make you believe that they come from this area, that they are indigenous to the land, that they're so Jewish, right? Even though they have no connection. So they changed the names. Here's another one. Moshe Sharat. His name is Chertok originally. You've got Levi Eshkol. Eshkol was Shklonik. So he changed it from Shklonik to Eshkol. Then you have Yigal Alon. His original name, Peikovitz. Golda Meir, Israel's first female prime minister. Her real name is not Golda Meir. It's Mabovich. Mabovich. More like mad bitch. We have Yitzhak Rabin, right? His name is not Rabin. It's Rubitsov. Are you seeing the pattern? These are Eastern European names. Not Palestinian, not Jewish, not Middle Eastern. They're Eastern European. Okay?
Yo, you catching what he's putting down here?
Yep. And I sent you that what they're finding in the jabs, right?
Yeah. Bioweapon.
Not just the mRNA. It was DNA.
Oh.
DNA that did the mRNA, and it was Slavic DNA, which I found interesting. But anyways, I sent you the thing on it. They took in so many vials and had them tested. Yep.
Right.
So they were inserting DNA.
Middle Eastern, they're Eastern European. Okay? They're not Palestinian. They don't come from this region. Yitzhak Shamir. He's a great one. You know, Yitzhak Shamir, he's on the wanted poster because he was wanted by the British police in Palestine for terrorism.
What?
But they don't tell you that. So Yitzhak Shamir, his original name is Yezernitsky. Shimon Peres, Persky. Netanyahu, I already told you, Malikovsky. I think I said Milkovsky, excuse me, it's Malikovsky. Never, it's the same point. Ehud Barak is Brog, so B-R-O-G. Brog, he changed it to Barak.
Oh, Barack
Ariel
Obama?
Sharon. His original name is Shinerman. Shinerman.
Hey.
Shinerman.
That sounds like a beer, doesn't it?
It does, like Shiners.
Like Shiner Bach.
Right.
Changed it to Sharon. And Yair Lapid, who's you still see him changing posts. His original name is Lampel, so he changed it from Lampel to Lapid.
Crazy, right? Imposters is what I'm saying.
Yep.
So we got imposters.
Vicky Smith says that there's also a Tesla trading app that she thinks is a scam.
Okay,
so
there you go.
There's another thing, yeah.
Vicky.
Could be that too. Vicky Smith, huh? Mm-hmm.
There you go, Vicky. All right. This is about our kids. Now we know this is CNN 2008, but let's see what they got going on here about the 1 minute clip. I believe they're talking about autism.
As you may remember, 9-year-old Hannah Poling. Recently, the government's so-called vaccine court conceded.
All right, you're going to turn your TV up for the next 60 seconds in order to hear this. And once I stop the video, turn it back down.
As you may remember, 9-year-old Hannah Poling. Recently, the government's so-called vaccine court conceded her family's claim that vaccines may have helped trigger Hannah's autism. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, is back with more on that debate on this Autism Awareness Day. Sanjay?
Don, thank you. We are here with Dr. John Poling. He is, first of all, he's a neurologist. He's also the father of Hannah Poling, as you just mentioned. Her autism, her case of autism diagnosis was conceded by the federal government as having been contributed to by vaccines. That was a pretty startling thing, I think,
Did
for
y'all
a
hear
lot
that?
of people to hear.
Having been contributed by vaccines. All right.
Yep.
A pretty startling thing, I think, for a lot of people to hear. We talked to a lot of experts about this. They say, look, vaccines in no way cause autism. You're a neurologist. You're also the father of Hannah. What do you say?
Well, I think you bring up a really important point, is that the government, actually the Department of Health and Human Services, conceded that my daughter's medical problems, which are autism, encephalopathy, seizures, were brought on by vaccination.
What?
You may remember.
What? Let's play that again. Let's listen to that again.
Medical problems, which are autism, encephalopathy, seizures, were brought, conceded that my daughter's
Hold on.
Health and Human Services.
Health and Human Services. Hold on. Let's go back. Thank you. Here we go.
Department of Health and Human Services.
The DHS.
Services conceded that my daughter's medical problems, which are autism, encephalopathy, seizures, were brought on by vaccination.
Boom. 2008. Were brought on by vaccinations. Right?
Yeah.
Department of Health, all of them. They know, but yet they're still pushing the bullshit, right?
Here it is. This was, it's all coming out. 34 batches from Pfizer and Moderna have been analyzed so far, which were stored accordingly the proper cold chain, and only those that were used for the Slavic population during the COVID-19 epidemic. Today will present the most significant result of the analysis. The results of the analysis of all, I repeat, all analysis batches prove that every single vial there is an extremely high amount of DNA, a vector that encodes the cassette for the synthesis of the S protein, if not other proteins as well. Almost in the same amount as mRNA, DNA is also present there. In 3 cases, the DNA content is even higher than the mRNA. This no longer even be considered an mRNA vaccine. This genetic code for the synthesis of the S protein, this information stored in the DNA, is stable compared to the mRNA, can integrate into human nuclear DNA, and subsequently such a human organism becomes, I'm not afraid to say officially, a genetic modified organism.
Wow. Thank you, Sheepdog.
You're welcome.
That's badass. So I got a lot of different topics to cover tonight. I'm going to be kind of not sticking to one topic. But this next one is going to be, this is a Republican politician standing there at the podium. We got veterans in the audience, right? And I just want to let all my vets know that I stand with you no matter who you voted for, left or right. We got to stand together. We know that the government isn't coming to save us. If you think that the government's coming to save you, go ask a vet. Right. Because I know we just, here locally, I lost a veteran that I know, a Vietnam veteran that's been waiting on the system to help him with the Agent Orange and all that. But he just passed away. So we got to carry on the fight. But the civilians, the people need to realize that these people aren't your friends. And they don't have your best interest at heart. We got to come together. Just like the Constitution says, the power is inherent in the people, not the government.
That's right.
We are the government. So here is what's this? Chuck Edwards, representing North Carolina's 11th district. He's fixing to get his ass handed to him by a veteran.
That was in Asheville, right? Or near Asheville.
I'm not for sure. What Mike could probably help us with where North Carolina's 11th district is. I don't know exactly where, but you got a lot of veterans. You got one right here. You got one fixing to stand up and But he's fixing to tell him about his Social Security, right? Here we go.
You're lying. I'm a veteran and you don't
A veteran, and you don't give a fuck about me.
give a fuck about me. Shut the fuck up.
What did he say? You're taking away my Social Security?
Yep.
You're taking away my Social Security is what he's telling him. All right. Didn't we today they just closed the Social Security office, Miss Sheepdog? Wasn't that today?
Yes, in California.
Okay.
They closed down the entire administrative building.
So the people aren't going to be able to get assistance?
I don't know, but they're shut down. And there's many other federal buildings being shut down. I mean, somebody in the chat, I can't remember the name. I haven't verified it yet, but it said one of the prisons was, everyone was let go there and replaced with National Guard. So I need to confirm that though. But yeah, I believe her because their family member worked there. So there's a lot going on that's not being reported, but through the word of mouth, right? So we need information sent to us so we can let others know. Let us know, because it's not going to be covered.
Right. The mainstream media is running propaganda on you guys. Wag the dog. Smith-Mundt Act. SMITH-MUNDT Act 2012. They're running propaganda on you guys. Fox News, CNN, ABC, NBC, NBC, MSNBC, whatever the hell you want to call them. They're all running propaganda on you guys. Turn that shit off. Get behind your veterans. Get behind the people that are standing up. Support them if they're running for office, whatever the hell the case may be. But here we're talking about Social Security. If you're on Social Security, the veterans are going to stand up and kick that ass. So they think that silencing a veteran is the way to go, right? Kicking them out of the meeting.
No, that just fuels the fire, and that they should not escort him out. He has a right to express his voice. He's angry. Do you blame him? He didn't go, he's not doing anything harmful, but expressing his voice, and that's freedom of speech, right? But they don't respect that.
No. So they're in violation of the First Amendment right here. So he can sue that whole city.
That's right. It's a process, but yes, you can.
Yep. So folks, this is a fight. This isn't just going to be handed over to you. First and foremost, if you're waiting on a republic, it's already in the Constitution, especially in the Texas state Constitution, that this is a republic. So all my people out there from Texas, we're already in the republic. You don't have to wait. It's in the Constitution that it is. And the power, and it says the power is inherent in the people. Section 2 of the Texas state Constitution. So start acting like you got the power. Quit waiting on somebody. What I appreciate is everybody's speaking up for him instead of just sitting there and allowing it to happen. The people are actually standing up and saying he's got the right to speak. But regardless of veteran or not, all of them have the right to speak. Each and every person. We got to stand up for each and every person, left or right, and let their voices be heard. Constitution. What happened to free speech? Right here. What happened to free speech? It's your First Amendment violation. This. Keep in mind, this is a Republican speaking. This isn't a Democrat.
I deeply value the contributions that.
Just to be clear,
So he said, just to be clear, you're not telling the truth. You're not effing telling the truth. And you're not listening to us. You're not listening to us, folks. Right? They're just going along with the Truman Show. He's reading. Look at him. He's looking down at this at a letter that somebody printed up for him to read. He's not speaking from the heart. He's not speaking from his mind. Nothing. He's just reading the script. They're just going through the motions.
Yep, like they always have. We just didn't notice it.
Look, they're mad. There we go. All right, getting some action. Speaking of action, that brings me to this. Texas ain't playing. All right. Texas ain't
playing. Said the South will rise again, right?
There you go.
We rise that throat chakra. They're raising their blood pressure too.
Yep.
Hello, I am Demetrius
Texas,
and I represent Reserve Your Rights, Texas. I didn't come here to beg, and I invoke each of
Now I'm gonna say this is from 10-2, a few months back, but it's still relevant. Here we go.
Hello, I am Demetrius Smith, and I represent Reserve Your Rights, Texas. I didn't come here to beg, and I invoke each and every last one of you oaths today. Today, we stand here as we the people, and we have a social compact, and that is the United States Constitution for America. Each and every last one of you has an oath and a bond, and you owe the American people, the beneficiary to the Constitution, a performance, and that bond secures that performance. Each and every one of these people back here are the beneficiary. We have ordained and established this Constitution. We have established this justice system. Our founding fathers left it now up to us because now we are the descendants in the homeland. And today we did not come here to beg you to do anything. You have an oath, you have a constitutional duty to exactly examine each and every judge that have that oath. Since you want to be the institution that's in place of that, we expect you to perform your duties. Too often, the judges have reversed the courts, and they come up with this democracy. We are a republic, and we're a republican form of government, where the people rule and not the government themselves. That is in also Texas Government Code 552.001. The people are the master. The government are the servants. With that being said, we come to demand you all to do your job, since you promised us a performance to do that job. Each judge across America, in the United States of America, have too often made the people a slave by misidentifying the people as vessels, as cargoes, as fictitious persons, as in lieges. We are the beneficiaries in this country. So today is not the day that anybody weep and cry anymore. Do your job and perform your abilities, because you have access to the public trust. You all are the trustees and we are the beneficiaries. And now that you have access to the public trust, you have the access to the people funds. The people are always performing. Now it's your turn to perform unto your constitutional oath and your bonds that secure it. We are all in contract with each and every last one of these judges, officials, and you too. I am Demetrius Smith.
Boom. That was awesome. So hold them to that.
So this is that fuck around and find out moment, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck around and find out that Democrat and Republican get it. Ain't nobody distracted. Ain't nobody, the people that are awake to what's really going on ain't falling for the bullshit no more. left, right versus right bullshit.
Right. And there's more than what they let us know. Right. There's more. There's a lot more. People are really starting to talk now, and they make it look like the polls and all that. But Trump told you a long time ago the polls are not true. So they give you the illusion that everyone's on one side and everyone's going to one side. No, people are waking up and they're seeing the smoke screen, right?
Yeah. And especially with Israel.
Oh yeah.
So we see. Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Good.
I was just going to say that our energies affect a lot of things as well. So a lot of people are being shooken up. There's going to be a great shaking, right? That's us. Our emotions and we can affect the weather as well. So we're all energy. So be cautious how you react to things. So we can be the ones that subside the ones that are overreacting, right? You can make it balanced.
All right. And what we're talking about is this Republican versus Democrat bullshit. Right. But look at this. See that in the middle? See that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You see that? You see that? They're both in bed with Israel. Both.
And that's the red shift, blue shift, right, left. They got to come together. Then we'll have the crown, right?
Versus right.
And we'll be unified. Then we have the return of Christ.
Yeah.
The spiritual.
So here's your CPAC guy, right? This is I wear an American flag on my suit, but yet I got whatever the hell that is on your head. It's Charlie Kirk.
Yep.
Sheepdog, why are you pointing that shit out? Why are you pointing that out? Well, because the Christians need to understand what this means. All right, people that identify as Christian need to understand what this means. All right, we're going to get into that right now. All right, here we go.
How does Israel benefit us as a partner?
Well, how does Israel benefit us as a partner? Folks, when you go to Walmart or when you go to Target or when you go to all these grocery stores, do you see anything shipped here from Israel?
No.
No. Nothing. So he's being asked, how do they benefit us as a partner? They don't.
How does Israel benefit us as a partner?
Now, this is a Palestinian Christian speaking up. Apparently, the Jews don't understand, the Christians don't understand that Palestinians, there's Christians out there as well. Right.
Well, first and foremost, you're a Christian. Yes. How do we know the Bible is true?
He said, how do we know the Bible is true?
From the land of Israel, Palestine.
That's not Palestine.
It's Palestine, brother. It's Palestine. Apparently, you need to go do some research. But apparently, you believe it's Palestine. But the Belfort Act says something different.
You want me to put British Palestine? Does that help?
Well, as a Christian, so are you Armenian Christian?
No, I'm actually Palestinian.
Okay. So what? And you're Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Okay. Well, praise God. Thrilled to hear that. So, but I think you can acknowledge that we as Christians have to honor the Jews. Do you believe that?
Guys, y'all got to honor the Jews?
I think we should honor everyone. People are people at the end of the day.
But in our scriptures, it does say that we should bless the Jews.
You see how they twisted the scriptures? Israel didn't exist as the state, right? It was a people. They want you to believe it's a country.
Genesis 12:3, I will bless those descendants that bless me, and we have a covenant with Israel. Do you share that as a Christian, that belief?
How
does Israel benefit us as a partner?
Well, first and foremost, you're a Christian. Yes. How do we know the Bible is true?
From the land of Israel, Palestine.
It's not Palestine.
You want to slash Palestine? Does that help?
Well, as a Christian, so are you Armenian Christian?
No, I'm actually Palestinian.
Okay. So what? And you're Christian?
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Okay. Well, praise God. Thrilled to hear that. So, I think you can acknowledge that we as Christians have to honor Jews. Do you believe that?
I think we should honor everyone. People are people at the end of the day.
But in our scriptures, it does say that we should bless the Jews. That Genesis 12:3, I will bless those descendants that bless me, and we have a covenant with Israel. Do you share that as a Christian, that belief?
And this is coming from Sam Tripoli. If you watch Jimmy Dore's show, he's a comedian, right? But he says Charlie Kirk is a fucking retard. Straight up retard. Of course, y'all know about Trump's spiritual leader back in 2017, 2020. Robert Morris is indicted on child sex charges. Y'all know that, right? Yep. So I don't have to play this. Everybody knows that, right? If you don't know it, you know it now. So everybody that he brings in front of him or beside him or whatever you want to call it is involved in some bullshit. They're not the best of the best. They're the worst of the worst. All right, here we go. We're going to switch gears here. I'm going to go into a little bit about big pharma and parasites.
Did you know they're not allowed to reveal parasites on your lab tests at your doctor's office? Check out what this lab tech says.
Would you believe that I have a lab tech that worked in an all-women's hospital in the United States who went to school for 4 years for parasitology, so she does have an understanding of parasites and what she is looking for. The results that she was finding in these women coming in with UTIs, urinary tract infections, was showing parasitic larvae. She was putting them in her report, and the doctor of the lab was removing them from the reports. So these women with urinary tract infections were never getting properly diagnosed in the United States. See, they're not allowed to tell you if you have parasites. No, the CDC and HHS does not allow that. Because if you actually found out what ailed you and got cured, got the proper treatment, you wouldn't need your doctor. You wouldn't need your big pharma pills anymore.
Yeah. You got it?
Right.
5x5. Can I get a 5x5 in the chat? On that?
They don't even test for parasites.
Well, they do, but they don't reveal it.
Right. Not at the level they're supposed to, right?
Right. So if you got a doctor, I'd go in and get you tested for parasites, folks. Straight up. Especially if you're having issues, a lot of health issues. Get tested for them parasites. But also you can go ahead and get you can go ahead and start taking care of that yourself. So you don't have to wait. Start doing a parasite cleanse. And watch how much weight you start losing and how much better you start feeling. And you get your mind back and your sanity. Right? And you can start vibing high.
Right. Sweet wormwood.
Charlie Kirk's an idiot. Okay, we did that. Charlie Kirk's an idiot. We know that. Went over Jim Brewer, chemtrails, Tesla, car sales / Truman Show. got the veterans calling out this dude right here from North Carolina, District 11. Okay. All right. All right. So let me scroll up just a little bit. I'm gonna go over to the Texas State Constitution real quick. But before I do that, I just want people to look at this real quick. So Adam and Eve have belly buttons on all of their depictions, right? Think about it. Take as much time as you need. All right. So if this was the first man and first woman, how the hell they got belly buttons? Right. That means they were born from another human. Correct?
That's right. They weren't the first.
So how are they the first if they have belly buttons? What's up, man? All right. Let me go over the Texas State Constitution and we'll go back. Also, another good thing is the MMS, chlorine dioxide. Well, it's Epstein files, not release day again. Right. And not just that, but several laptops. But they're going to keep you distracted with a bunch of bullshit. Wag the dog, propaganda, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, so you'll forget about it.
But here we see Trump with his mortal enemy laughing it up with Schumer, the White House. Here we got the Klan saying Jesus saves. Right.
Wow.
So frustration is knowing that the agenda is not hidden anymore, and yet the sheep are still obeying. Right? Is your central casting?
Yep.
Trump himself said he's central casting, so I know they're all central casting because that's not the original JD. That's not the original any of these people.
No.
Here we got if you take your Amazon fulfillment, your Amazon packages, and you flip it, you get the G. Mason. Right?
Yeah, this whole construct was built by the Masons. That's the secret. They know, we don't. Well, we do now, but we didn't. We were kept in the dark.
Can we get the Epstein list? Best I can do is deport you if you criticize Israel. Like, bruh. So how can the client list of the elite pedophiles sit on the desk of the AG for 3 weeks without releasing a single name or arresting a single person and it not being an international cover-up?
Right, but we're more concerned about the people, or we the people, right? Or what each other is doing wrong. When we shouldn't be pointing fingers at each other, because then when you point one finger back, there's 3 pointing right back at you. So let's not do that.
Yep.
Because we're not each other's enemies. That's what they want.
Here we got Ban APAC. Same group as trafficking the children at the border. It donates to both left and right. 36 trillion national debt. They held hands and they did this together. Red and blue. Elephant and a jackass. They held hands and they did it together. Right? Yeah, I'll get to it, man. So we got unpleasant truths is where we're at right here. And then we got comfortable lies. I've seen 1 million people on a YouTube this today. He's only 19 hours in and they're releasing his YouTube on the war or some ship being blown up. He's got 1.2 million views in 19 hours. That's this right here. You get 1 million views right here. Comfortable lies. Unpleasant truths, you're not going to get that many views. You hear me? Because nobody wants to hear it. All right. Here we go. It's going to be a hard one right here for some of you. But we got to go through it because it doesn't make any sense.
I don't think Christians thought this through, but listen, if you're Christian, please explain this, okay? Christians believe that there's going to be an antichrist figure and that the world will go through great destruction, but the Christians won't be here because they will be taken up into heaven before all that happens. So if that's the case, how is it that Christians are so excited about our new leader in America saving the world, saving America, making it all better so everybody can have free money and cool technologies and or a job, like that's the greatest thing ever for everybody to have a job. How is it that is so great and you're so excited about that when you know the Antichrist is still supposed to come and destroy everything and you won't be here for it? So you won't be here for Trump's stuff. You won't be here for their promised utopia because you'll be in heaven, right? You can't have a world savior and the return of the Antichrist all at the same time. In fact, we're told that the Antichrist will be the person that says they are the world savior. And this is what Christians don't seem to understand. The worldly savior is the Antichrist because Christ is within you. And you're raising your consciousness, all of that, that is the real rapture. That is the real ascension. That is why the Antichrist or trials and tribulations, all that comes first, because each person goes through all those things before they become self-actualized, which is what Christ means. You go through these tribulations trying to overcome your animal nature, your lower consciousness field, ascending. And that is what makes the world better, not your attachment to worldly things that are promised to you by a world ruler. Okay? The world ruler that promises you all these things is the Antichrist.
Five by five.
5 by 5.
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to go over we're going to go over the Texas State Constitution. This is for all my Texans out there. The Texas Constitution, specifically Article 1, Section 2, asserts that all political power is inherent in the people, and that all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit. For their benefit. Here's a more detailed explanation. Inherent political power. The Texas Constitution in its Bill of Rights, Article 1, establishes that the ultimate source of political power lies with the people of Texas. Foundation of free government. The Constitution states that all free governments are established based on the authority of the people and are intended to serve their interests. The right to alter or reform or abolish, subject to the preservation of a Republican form of government. The people of Texas retain the inalienable right to alter, reform, or even abolish their government as they see fit. A Republican form of government The Texas Constitution pledges the faith of the people to maintain a Republican form of government. You don't have to wait for an invite. You don't have to wait for Trump to tell you. You don't have to wait for Biden to tell you. You don't have to wait for a political bullshit party to tell you. It's already in the Constitution. Separation of powers. The Texas State Constitution also emphasizes the separation of powers, dividing governmental authority into legislative, executive, and judicial. That's the three, right? The Bill of Rights, Article 1 of the Texas State Constitution, which is the Bill of Rights, outlines the fundamental rights and freedoms of Texas citizens, including the right to worship freely, the right to bear arms, and the right to due process of law. Amendments to the Texas State Constitution can amend through a process outlined in Article 17. There's your number, 17, allowing the changes to reflect the evolving needs and values of the people. Current Constitution, the current state constitution is the Constitution of 1876, which replaces the Constitution of 1869. So we go right here. Again, if you want to see it, I pulled it up. It's all written right there. Texas State Constitution. Go look at your state constitution and see if the power is inherent in the people. And if it is, then you don't need to wait for nobody to tell you, folks. It's already in print. It's already in writing, black and white. Again, the Texas State Constitution, specifically Article 1, Section 2, asserts that all political power is inherent in the people. Again, all political power is inherent in the people, and that all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit. The faith of the people of Texas stands pledged to the preservation of a republic form of government, and subject to this limitation only. They have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in such a manner as they may think expedient. All right. I want to point that out. So instead of sending money to North Carolina or any of these other states, we send $16 billion to Israel in 40 days. Good job. All right. Everything is a scam, folks. COVID, your climate change, and your elections, all of it is a scam. Right? Ain't that right, Pam Bondi? I mean, she agrees, right? Ain't that right, Pam? Yeah, you agree. So we got Gene Hackman, DNA, gene hackers, transhumanism. I don't know if I showed that the last show, but gene hack, man, gene hackers.
Yep.
Hello. And then Elon Musk, we are on the event horizon of this singular. So he's trying to mess with your DNA. That's your Elon, Elonia, Queen Elonia. Is that right, Mike? Queen Elonia. So we got the Democrats here. 22 Democrat senators have now exposed. So they're all, like I said, they're all using propaganda. Smith-Monk Act 2012 makes this legal.
I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
You see it? Mockingbird Media. Holy shit, are y'all tired of hearing this shit? Are y'all tired of hearing this? Because I am. Bam. Mockingbird Media, folks. Right or left, it does not matter, right? Let me go down here.
That's right.
Starseeds, yep. Starseeds have been being prepared for their mission their entire life, since birth. Often this means really difficult childhood. I can relate. And family situations, I can relate. And I know many of you can, as well as never quit fitting in. Much of what you went through won't make sense until you have stepped into your purpose. And that's what this is all about, stepping into our purpose. First is mindful thoughts, then self-loving actions, then a conscious routine, then a fulfilling journey, then a harmonious way of being. Then it is simply your soul's essence, right?
As within, so without. But do you really understand what that means? Your life, your relationships, your struggles, your successes. None of it is random. It is all a reflection of something deeper. You are not reacting to reality. You are witnessing your own projection. Most people don't see this. They try to change their circumstances, like fixing their reflection in a mirror, grabbing at the image, reaching outside themselves, fighting external battles that were never external to begin with. But here's the truth. You don't fix the reflection. You fix the source. Your mind is not inside your body. Your body is inside your mind. Your experience of reality is happening within you. The universe you think you are living in, it is a microcosm of your own consciousness. And this is why the law of correspondence is everything. The patterns you see out there, the people you attract, the circumstances you keep repeating, they all correspond to something inside. You can't keep planting weeds and expect roses to grow. You can't carry fear and expect a reality of peace. You can't embody lack and attract abundance. But here's the part that changes everything. If the outside is just a reflection of the inside, then the most strategic investment of your energy is in shifting your inner world, not in forcing, not in chasing, not in controlling, but in becoming. Because the moment you embody something new, reality must follow. So the real question isn't, how do I change my life? It's what within me is being reflected back. And once you understand that, you'll never waste energy fighting the mirror again.
Boom. That's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by Pfizer. Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer. ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer. Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer. CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night.
Can y'all hear this when y'all watch y'all's mainstream media? Can y'all hear all this? It's taking place during your commercials, the big pharma commercials.
CBS Health Watch, sponsored by
Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer. ABC News Nightline. Brought to you by Pfizer. Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer. CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer. This week with George Stephanopoulos is
Brought to you by Pfizer.
This weather report brought to you by Pfizer.
Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by
Big Pharma.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer. Meet the Press Data Download. Brought to you by
Big Pharma.
This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer. On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet.
Can y'all hear that when y'all are watching the mainstream media? When you're watching football, baseball, basketball, all that brought to you, all of it's brought to you by Big Pharma. Do you know when I go sit and watch TV shows with my mom, in between the sitcoms, it's Pfizer, Big Pharma commercials?
Oh yeah, on regular TV without if you just watch, if you have like a smart TV, she just has a regular one. It's constant, nonstop.
Yeah, it's all day. Like my mom orders shit. She orders stuff or gets things based off of what that is presented on TV.
Like the infomercials.
Yeah, she's got that little button you push on her neck. What's that called?
Life Alert.
She's got Life Alert because they put Life Alert commercials on in between every sitcom. She now has a Life Alert, and I'm sitting right here, which is crazy, next to my mom. But in the same world, vaccines protect the vaccinated, right? So why are they wanting you vaccinated if the vaccines protect the vaccinated? Why do they want your kids vaccinated if the other kids are vaccinated? If the vaccines protect the vaccinated? Can anybody tell me that? And however, on Clown Earth, which is where we're at, the unvaccinated must protect the vaccinated by getting vaccinated with the same vaccine that doesn't protect the vaccinated from the unvaccinated until those people are vaccinated against the unvaccinated.
Crazy.
But it's a clown world. So if you want to get vaccinated, go ahead. But everyone else doesn't need to get vaccinated if you're protected by the vaccine that you got vaccinated with. Right?
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly. Thank you. So we're living in a clown world, folks. And if you don't know that they control both the narrative and the counter narrative, then you're not awake yet. All right? Y'all don't want to see this, do you? This is who Obama was hanging out with right here. Right here. This is him.
Well, there's several of them, right? Playing the same person. I think that's with many of them.
I'm here with my big brother, Craig. Hey,
that's her big brother, Craig. Anyways, moving on. Oh, so IDs are like crack cocaine to law enforcement. They got to have it. Here's your natural healers. Sunshine, fresh air, laughter, which is what Mike we try to do right at the beginning of the show. Laughter is a natural healer. You want to know why Mike shared the comedy? Because laughter is a natural healer. Stretching,
yes.
Sleep, music, dance, sweating, grounding, gardening, which is what we did today, clean foods, we do all that every day, healthy boundaries, staying hydrated, deep conversation, all right, long baths, good old hot bath, some moonlight, some meditation or thinking or pondering, ocean water, going to the beach, slowing down, right, is a natural healer. Slow your roll.
Right.
Have you ever
remember staying hydrated? Just drinking water alone does not hydrate you. You need to drink solo water or some water with some tea infused or some herbs infused. Yeah.
Squirt some lemon juice in. Like take a lemon, cut it in half, put it in your bottled water or whatever, or your water.
Aloe or cucumber. Cucumber's very good too.
D-Day has come for the criminal and RICO judges and the administrative courts. DOJ will no longer protect them due to their actions being unconstitutional. Get your federal lawsuits filed and tort claims tuned in.
There is no jurisdiction here in the matter, and I'll tell you a secret. Once you challenge jurisdiction, the burden falls on the plaintiff to prove jurisdiction. See, and he can't do that. It cannot be done. There isn't any. There is no jurisdiction to hear a traffic ticket in the United States of America. I know you're sitting there, oh, come on, they've been getting this for years. A traffic ticket is a writ of assistance or a bill of attainder. You look in your Constitution, you'll find out bills of attainder are against the Constitution.
Boom. Boom.
And it's stated at least twice that I know, all right? I'm telling you, you read your Constitution. There is no place for a traffic ticket. You cannot have a writ of assistance that has civil equity arguments that transmit into law penalties. They can't throw you in jail for a debt because that's a debtor's prison. We have a constitutional argument against that also. So how do they do it? Because they want to, and because you don't know any better. That's how they do it.
Because you don't know any better. That's how they do it. Well, God damn it, we're going to know better, right? We're going to do better.
Yes.
Court of equity. All right, that's a good question. Very good. Glad you're paying attention here. If they say they have a court of equity and there is equity, then you turn to them and say, thank you, Your Honor, I appreciate your time. I would like to know who is the injured party and where the contract is. Can you show me the contract? There is no contract unless you didn't sign your license on your D1-207 without prejudice. Where is the contract? It's when you sign for.
Write that down. UCC 1-308 is the update of the UCC code.
The license. So don't sign for that license unless you put UD1-207 without prejudice, UCC 1-207. Now, they can't produce the contract, and if they could produce the contract, you've exercised your waiver of the contract not to give up your constitutional rights to travel freely and unencumbered, right? And let me ask you this, can you enter into an unconstitutional contract? Not lawfully. The contract is voidable for not lawful performance. It has to be a lawful contract to get into it. All right, now the next thing, who's the injured party? Who got injured? Show me, Judge.
Yep. Gotta have a victim, right? No victim, no crime.
So they don't like going against you people. They will not like going against you. If you halfway know what the hell you're talking about, they're going to be intimidated. And I can tell you many tales. I had this one gentleman, he didn't have any plates on his car, and they called him into the court. And he was standing in the hallway, and the prosecution said, would you come over here, sir? I'd like to talk to you. He came in the office, they sat down, and this party said to the prosecutor, what can I do for you? The prosecutor said, sir? He said, what can I do for you? He said, well, it's not what you can do for me. I'm the prosecutor. What do you want to do in this case? Well, I assumed there was something I could do for you. You called me in here. Well, what do you want to do? How do you want to plead in your case? Well, I don't intend to plead, sir. I intend to answer in a form with a mirror, such that I do not acquiesce to quasi-jurisdiction, because that's an issue to be brought up.
Quasi-jurisdiction.
The guy's mouth was on the ground.
Quasi-jurisdiction.
He said, are you an attorney, sir? He says, no, I'm a truck driver. The guy absolutely was in a panic. I had the same gentleman later, he was working as a bricklayer, and he did the same thing. Told the prosecutor he was a bricklayer. The guy's jaw was on the ground. See, they don't anticipate that people that are in other jobs other than theirs have any brains. And it blows their doors off, and all of a sudden this bricklayer or this truck driver can come and argue law, and all of a sudden it's like, shoot, this guy's good. I have to treat him like he's an attorney. So what did this guy do? The first thing he does out of the chute, he walks up to the judge and he tells the judge, he says, Judge, I'm going to dismiss this case. Because he realized he was going to get hammered. And my guy says, you can't do that. I took the hour of work to come over here and battle. I told him, I said, shut up, sit down and relax, you won. Don't say nothing, you won. And the judge broke out laughing because this guy didn't want to quit. The judge turned to me and said, well, evidently the prosecutor doesn't want to proceed, sir. I'm going to have to dismiss the case. He is the complainant. Can he do that, Judge? He can't do that. I'm here to battle. I want to go. Let's do it. And the judge laughed again. He says, well, apparently, sir, I cannot sustain a complaint that is not properly before the court. Counsel for prosecution has entered a motion to dismiss, and I have no other option but to dismiss. Now, if you want to countersue him, that's another case. Well, I'll do that. I'll do that. In the meantime, I told him, will you be quiet and submit your bill? Submit your bill. You won. Submit your bill for your damages. So he did. He said, well, I'll submit my bill, Your Honor, for my costs and fees for having to defend this frivolous case. And the judge smiled, because people don't usually do that. But if you win, they are required to pay you. That's the rules. If you lose, you pay. So the bottom line is this. When you file your papers and they turn around and you get a win, make sure you got your little bill in there for your lost time from work or any copies that you had to make or any visits to the law library or any what's called real and personal damages. And don't pad the account. Put down exactly what you got, because if they force you to prove it, you can get busted for perjury. So I don't recommend you shall we say, stretch the pad. I recommend you put down exactly what your costs are. Believe me, the fact that they got beats plenty enough of a sting, and the fact they got to pay a couple $100 for your lost day at work will be more of a sting. And you will get a code on your license. And the next time you get pulled over, they will just hand your license back until you think about slowing down and have a nice day. Because they don't like people like you. Because you're an American.
Yeah.
And Americans don't give up. They never surrender and they fight. One judge told
we never surrender. We freaking fight. That's what this is all about, folks. All right.
That's right.
The Gulf of nobody has been arrested yet.
Right.
Yeah. All right. This is okay. Okay. All right. This is from my wife. We need to stop lying to ourselves, take responsibility, and act in accord with what is right. Natural law teaches us that the universe is factual and self-similar across all scales. It is created in particular patterns, and it's consciousness itself that recognizes these patterns on behavior. The society that we're in is so ingrained and indoctrinated and closed off that scientism has monopoly of what they deem to be truth. And right now, it is widely believed that the right and wrong is only a construct of man's mind. The battlefield is in the mind. But that is the polar opposite to what is the ancient mystery schools that taught their highest degrees. The truth is that the right is and wrong exist, whether man exists or not. Man's place in the universe is of no significance to whether or not natural law is in operation. It is always in operation and exists. And it governs your actions, whether you believe it or not. Right? Our worldview is distorted. Our worldview, it needs healing. We need to stop lying to ourselves and take responsibility and act in accord with what is right. Stop violating other people's rights, okay? And recognize that other people's bodies are not ours to control. We have an inherent responsibility to learn to control our own selves. This corresponds to the parable of removing the stick from our own eye before you start trying to remove toothpicks from the eyes of others. Y'all know that scripture? Remove the plank from your own eye. Being thoughtful, that's what goes around and comes back around, so that we treat others how we desire to be treated. We have to start caring, and care is the main ingredient to success. You cultivate the ambition to care about the truth through the use of our will. We force ourselves to care, but we stop forcing others and begin powering ourselves to move in the right direction. That's the truth care. All right. So we see this Democrat, Republican, right? All right. Then we go and we look at the badge. Huh? Hold on, I'll go back to it. So we did that. But we got to look at this. I got to scroll up. Sorry, guys. I apologize. I'm not saying I'm sorry. I apologize. But we go and we look at Milwaukee's. So we've seen the anti-rapture. This is the Milwaukee police. Former sergeant faces child porn charges. Folks, I could do a show for hours on end from now until eternity on the police officers that are involved in child porn, whether it be pictures, videos, or actually harming other children in the community, if not their own children. But then when you look at the Milwaukee police, what do you see here? What's up with this badge? All right. What do we see here? This is Milwaukee police. This isn't Israel, right? We see this. Star of David, established 1855, right here. See it?
Yep.
See it? Y'all see it? This isn't my opinion. These are facts. Right? But here's another important thing. The urge to quit is often greatest when you are on the brink of victory. So let's not get tired of what was good and just, right? At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Don't give up, folks.
That's right.
Thank you.
Almost there.
Again, this is Trump's spiritual advisor getting caught for pedophilia, messing with a 12-year-old when he was 20-something years old in Oklahoma. I believe that was the state, right? He's in Dallas. He's a mega church pastor. Slept with a 12-year-old. Right? So when I tell you to look at the person, the people that is to the left or to the right of this man right here.
Right. There's a reason. There's a reason you get called up or brought up if you're, or even your name's mentioned by him, right? Because it always comes out.
So many will appear to have lost their souls in these final days. So intense will the nature of the changes be that of those who are weak in spiritual awareness. They'll go insane, for we are nothing without spirit. Amen. Yeah.
That's right? the Hopi Blue Star prophecy. Yep. And there's a scripture in the Bible that says the exact same thing. So the prophecies are universal.
There's going to be a lot of people lose their mind over the next few weeks, few months, because they're weak in spiritual awareness. They're going to go insane. Right?
Right. If you allow it, you got to be spiritually strong. Because a lot of people are going through mixed emotions, and you got to be careful because they will lash out at you. Not because maybe nothing you even did, but they don't know how to express what they're going through. So they're going to maybe, lash out in anger or turn away from you. There's a lot of different mixed emotions, and it's how they handle it is unpredictable. So don't take it personal. I know it's hard, but don't take it personal, because there's a lot of things that if they haven't done inner work, they're going to be faced with those earthquakes, those tornadoes, all those things within.
Yeah. So everybody from Texas, the Texas State Constitution, specifically Article 1, Section 2, asserts that all political power is inherent in the people, and that all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit. That's all I got. Game over. You don't have to wait. Kind of went over a little bit, Mike. 2 minutes, 20 seconds.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry. Mike, check this out.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now.
Uno. That's funny.
That's good stuff.
You got the cards, Mike?
Hey man, I've got a fistful. I got a fistful, and one of the cards that'll probably get played this coming week, folks, is some arrest of attorneys and judges. We shall see. Do manage expectations, but there are people talking about it. Okay, that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Manage your expectations, and know that, remember, more than one person has give fair warning that this first wave of whatever is going to happen we're going to feel a little pain, right? It's okay. We talked about this on the Telegram Live last night. We do not need to fear. Sheepdog has already told you more than once tonight. The sheepdogs have shared with you the actual power that you have in the Constitution, and to self-govern and to be a shot caller already. So let's make it happen. Let's get our into this underway and under the care of the rightful people, and that is the people, right? I'm not ashamed to admit anything that I got to admit to do my part. That's the shadow work, folks. Whatever it takes. Okay? It ain't about showing off and who's badass and who's not a badass. It's about setting humanity in the right direction for success versus the failure and the illusion that we've all been living our entire lives. We're done. It's over. The whole time that they were sharing tonight, I'm over here trying to get my breathing under control. It is because of the shadow work that I'm able to, at this point, compared to the way I was the last time I was faced with this, that said I went into congestive heart failure several years ago, right? And I'm sitting here listening to the sheepdogs as they share, and I'm just putting my head on my forehead on my palms, and and I'm saying the things that I need to say into the ether, and my breathing is getting back under control. Because sometimes, over the past few days, it has been something that I haven't been able to control. Respiratory, has been a big part of this. And since we've grown and we learned, and we're even maybe even be purging, we have to remember that what we speak into existence is what's going to happen moving forward. So we're just going to keep speaking good things into existence, not only for ourselves, but for all of humanity. These storms, we talked about this on the Telegram Live last night. We have the power, the ability to steer ourselves clear of these storms. And several have spoken to that. When you have something that ails you, your body, you have the power to command it to leave your body instantaneously. When you want to manifest a brighter tomorrow, it all begins with understanding the authority you have over yourself, first and foremost. The power that you have within the Christos as you climb Jacob's ladder. No more are we weak and meek and meager. We are strong and virile and virile. We're here to claim our birthrights without fail. We will. Love you all. Hope you have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No.